Imagine leaving your house without your phone. No screen in your pocket. No apps to open. No notifications lighting up every few minutes. Yet somehow you are still connected. You ask a question and an AI answers instantly. It reminds you about a meeting before you forget. It knows where you parked your car. It can message your friends, play music, control your home, and even understand what is happening around you. Not through a screen, but through conversation. That idea sounds futuristic, but it may be much closer than most people realize. According to recent reports, OpenAI is developing its first consumer hardware device. Surprisingly, it isn't another smartphone. It reportedly won't even have a screen. Instead, OpenAI is betting that the next generation of computing will be built around AI, not displays. This is one of the boldest technology bets since the iPhone. And it raises a fascinating question. What if the smartphone was never the final form of personal computing? To understand why OpenAI is taking this direction, we need to look back nearly 20 years. In 2007, Apple introduced the iPhone. It combined a phone, a music player, and the internet into one device. More importantly, it replaced physical buttons with a touchscreen. Over the next decade, almost every technology company copied that idea. Today, billions of people spend several hours every day staring at small glowing rectangles. Almost every digital activity depends on opening an app. Need directions? Open Maps. Need food? Open a delivery app. Need information? Open a browser. Need AI? Open ChatGPT. For years this seemed perfectly natural. But artificial intelligence changes one important assumption. Instead of navigating software ourselves, we can simply ask. That sounds like a small difference. It isn't. For decades, humans learned how computers work. Now computers are learning how humans communicate. If AI can understand natural language, remember context, and perform tasks across different services, maybe we no longer need dozens of separate apps. Maybe we only need one intelligent assistant. That appears to be the future OpenAI is chasing. According to Bloomberg and Reuters, OpenAI's first consumer device is expected to resemble a portable smart speaker. But internally, it is reportedly viewed as much more than that. The company sees it as an AI companion rather than a traditional speaker. The reported design is unusual. No screen. Built-in microphones. A camera. Environmental sensors. Mechanical parts that can move. The device is expected to understand its surroundings instead of waiting for commands like today's smart speakers. Instead of saying, "Turn on the lights," every time the AI could learn your routines. It may recognize that you're leaving home. It could remind you to bring your umbrella because rain is coming. It might suggest leaving early because traffic has increased. The goal isn't simply answering questions. The goal is becoming proactive. That is a very different philosophy from today's voice assistants. If this sounds familiar, there's a reason. Former Apple design chief Jony Ive is deeply involved. OpenAI acquired his AI hardware startup, I.O., in a deal worth about $6.5 billion. Many former Apple designers and engineers are now helping build this new generation of AI devices. That connection matters. Jony Ive helped design the iMac, iPod, iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. Few people have influenced consumer technology more. If he believes computing is ready to move beyond screens, the industry pays attention. But OpenAI isn't the first company to imagine an AI-first device. Several startups tried before. Humane launched the AI Pin. Rabbit released the Rabbit R1. Both promised that AI would replace apps. Both generated enormous excitement. Neither transformed the market. The biggest problems were simple. The AI wasn't reliable enough. The hardware wasn't compelling enough. And perhaps most importantly, smartphones were already extremely convenient. Why carry another device if your phone can do almost everything? That failure actually makes OpenAI's challenge even harder. It isn't competing against old technology. It's competing against the most successful consumer product in history. More than 6 billion smartphones are already in people's pockets. Replacing them requires something dramatically better. Sam Altman has hinted that OpenAI isn't trying to build another phone. Instead, it wants to create an entirely new category of computing. That idea is often called ambient computing. Instead of pulling out a device whenever you need technology, the technology quietly stays available all the time. It listens when appropriate. It understands context. It helps without forcing you to stop what you're doing. Imagine cooking dinner. Instead of touching a screen with messy hands, you simply ask your AI to convert measurements, start a timer, or answer a question. Imagine walking through an airport. Your AI notices your flight has changed gates before you do. It automatically brings up directions. Imagine driving. Instead of switching between navigation, music, messaging, and weather apps, your AI manages everything through conversation. The interface disappears. Only the assistant remains. That's a fundamentally different vision of computing. But it also creates new questions. If an AI understands your surroundings, what data is it collecting? How much does it remember? Where is that information stored? Who controls it? Privacy may become one of the biggest challenges for AI hardware. A device with cameras and microphones that constantly understands your environment must earn extraordinary trust. Consumers will expect clear answers before bringing such technology into their homes. Battery life is another obstacle. Running advanced AI continuously requires enormous computing power. Some processing can happen in the cloud. Some may happen directly on the device. Finding the right balance will determine whether the product feels magical or frustrating. Price will matter too. If the device costs nearly as much as a smartphone, many consumers may simply choose to upgrade their phones instead. OpenAI needs people to believe this isn't another gadget. It has to become something genuinely new. Competition is also becoming intense. Google continues expanding Gemini across Android. Apple is rebuilding Siri around Apple Intelligence. Meta is investing heavily in AI glasses. Amazon is improving Alexa with generative AI. Every major technology company now believes AI will define the next generation of personal computing. The real competition isn't just building better models. It's deciding where those models live. Inside phones. Inside glasses. Inside homes. Or perhaps inside entirely new devices. OpenAI's hardware project may be the clearest signal yet that the age of screen-first computing is beginning to change. Whether this first device succeeds or fails may not even be the most important question. History shows that first attempts rarely define an industry. The Apple Newton came before the iPhone. Early tablets existed before the iPad. Smartwatches existed before the Apple Watch. Sometimes the first product simply proves the idea. If OpenAI succeeds, future generations may look back at smartphones the way we now look at flip phones. Not obsolete overnight, but no longer the center of digital life. For nearly 20 years, we learned to touch our screens whenever we wanted information. The next generation may simply speak. And if OpenAI is right, the most important computer in your life may soon be the one you barely notice.